Hi everyone, welcome to Sci-fi Cravers YouTube channel. Now let's go into the second episode of story. Chapter 3, Frank's New Beginning. Frank Mitchell, known by his unfortunate moniker Frank the Dumpster, felt the weight of his world crumbling around him. His days at Junk Dump, a private recycling organization, had offered him a semblance of routine, albeit a lonely one. Miss Quiller, the CEO, announced massive layoffs due to the recession gripping Newfoundland. Frank was among the 20% let go. Returning to his small, cluttered apartment, Frank faced the stark reality of unemployment. With limited education and few skills, his job prospects were bleak. He spent his days scouring job boards and taking on odd jobs, but his savings dwindled rapidly. He knew he had less than 3 weeks before his funds ran dry. One evening, as he trudged home from a menial gig, he noticed a new advertisement plastered on a wall: "Join the Newfoundland Security Force. Recruiting now for December 2060 trade meet." The call for recruits was part of an initiative by the leaders in London to bolster security for the upcoming International Trade Summit. They aimed to train and employ unemployed youth, offering them a chance to serve and protect. Desperate and out of options, Frank applied. His unassuming nature and dogged determination worked in his favor during the rigorous selection process. To his surprise, he was accepted. Training commenced immediately, and for the first time in years, Frank felt a sense of purpose. The camaraderie among his fellow recruits filled the void of loneliness that had haunted him. As he honed his skills, he found himself growing stronger and more confident. Chapter 4, The Infiltrator. In the shadowy confines of a grand mansion in the heart of Vampire Land, Count Lucien convened with his inner circle. The vampires were determined to undermine the fragile peace and gain control over the humans. The upcoming trade meet was their opportunity. Lucien's co-leader, the sly and calculating Adrian, had already placed a spy within the Newfoundland Security Force. The spy, a vampire adept at disguise and manipulation, had seamlessly blended in with the new recruits. His mission was to gather intelligence on the security protocols for the trade meet and report back any weaknesses. The vampire infiltrator was cunning and meticulous, knowing that any mistake could jeopardize their plans. As Frank and his fellow recruits trained rigorously, the vampire spy embedded himself deeper into their ranks. He observed the security protocols, noting every detail and subtly influencing decisions to create potential vulnerabilities. His charisma and helpful demeanor earned him the trust of his peers, including Frank. One evening, as the recruits sat around a fire sharing stories, the spy subtly steered the conversation towards the upcoming trade meet. "You know," he said, "I've heard this trade meet is more than just an economic gathering. It's a symbol of our unity and strength. We have to be prepared for anything, especially with those vampires out there." Frank nodded solemnly. "Yeah, but we've trained hard. We'll be ready." The spy smiled inwardly. "Of course. But we should always stay vigilant. You never know where threats might come from." As the days turned into weeks, the spy continued to relay critical information back to Count Lucien. The vampire's plans began to take shape, orchestrating a series of diversions and attacks designed to fracture the security force from within. Frank, unaware of the betrayal brewing in their midst, threw himself into his training, determined to protect his new homeland. But as the December trade meet loomed closer, the seeds of deceit sown by the infiltrator threatened to unravel everything they had worked for. In London, the co-leaders reviewed their security measures, unaware that the enemy had already breached their ranks. The stage was set for a dramatic confrontation, one that would test the resolve and unity of Newfoundland's defenders. As Frank stood on the brink of a new chapter in his life, he had no inkling of the storm that was about to descend. The delicate balance between humans, werewolves, and vampires hung in the balance, and the actions of a few would determine the fate of man. Thank you for watching this channel. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel for more videos.